Hi, I'm Paul, the Happy Gilder. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to look at the theory and process around shading block lettering. So I've prepared a small panel, and all I've done to get this to this point is I've sandblasted the back coating of the mirror off in certain areas where the design are, and I've glue chipped the top part as well. Both of these processes can be seen in previous videos of mine, and I'll share a link to those up here, and I'll share a link in the description as well. So now I'm going to jump over into Photoshop and we'll look at the file and see how to prepare to actually start the shading. Okay. So this is the file that I prepped for the small panel, and what I've done is I've created an inlay, which you can see here. If I just show that on its own, these are the areas that are either going to be glue chipped or they're going to have mother of pearl applied to them. So with everything else on, I've added a drop shadow to it, and then I've just put a colour background in because it's going to contrast with the particular colour of drop shadow that I'm going to be showing. So I've just moved over into another bit of software where I've made the letter into a 3D object, and that way I can show the difference between what a drop shadow would look like in real life as to how I'm going to do it. What you would have is obviously certain elements are going to be blocking the light from others, so the outside letter of the T, if the light's coming from this right hand side, you're going to get bolder shadows here and just a much brighter element around this right hand side. Now, not that this doesn't look really good, because it does. It looks natural and it's how it would be if light was striking it. But for maximum impact, that's not really what we're looking for when it comes to doing the block shading with the paint. So I'm going to go back into the Photoshop file. What we're looking at here is that every single part where there is a contour, right or wrong, the best way of showing the contrast and making them jump out is by going from dark to light, and then you would go on to the next one and go from dark to light, and so on. And I've done a mock-up of what that would look like here, and this is what we're going to be aiming for on the piece by just using two colours and then brush blending them together. But that's just a kind of demonstration of the real world version versus the artificial version that we're going to be doing. So before we get started with the painting, I'm just going to go over the few things that we'll be using to do it. So just need two colours, and that's the chosen colour and white. So I'm going to go from this and then gradually go down to a paler version of itself. I need really small brush. This is a number 1 sable brush. You can get these smaller, you can get them in maybe even down to 000, but this is about right for the sign that I'm going to be painting today. You'll need a palette. And some people use a plate for this, and I used to, but the problem with that is when you're doing something on a flat surface, your paint goes tacky really quickly. But if you can do a puddle of it in a shallow palette, you've got a long time to work with, so you haven't got to worry about your paint going off as you're doing it. And you might not need one, but I definitely do, and this is called a marl stick. And among other things, it's for keeping your hand steady. So you'd put this on a surface, and then you use the actual stick to put your hand on and paint so that you've got something to lean on. So now I'm just going to change the camera angle and get started. So all I've done here is put an equal amount of the red and the white into two separate bits of the palette. And I'm starting on each of the corner areas there where I want the blending to start, and just doing a thin stripe of the colour. Now I'm then going to just dip my brush in and start mixing white until it just goes a slight little bit paler. And then I'm going to carry on and do these in a kind of stripy fashion. But you might notice I'm not doing this on every bit, and that's because I want a sort of equal gradient on those small bits as I do on the large bits. So the bits that are going to have longer and more kind of space to apply more paint are going to get the more attention, I suppose. Then if I get a quarter of a way down one of the larger bits and see that I need to add a little bit more to one of the smaller bits, I'll kind of do that. The aim is to look at this in quarters. I'll paint a quarter of it and then make sure that the longest and smallest bits have all had a quarter of them painted. And then I just kind of work it down like that. And it's quite a therapeutic and quick process, and it means you can be really intricate with this. This isn't the only way of brush blending and doing kind of shading on block letters, but if it comes to something where you've still got a lot of work to do, it's the most careful way of doing it. And this is the finished piece. So I'm really happy with how it's come out, and I think the pink looks really nice and it will contrast nicely with the mother of pearl, which is going to be the next step that I do. But the gradients are really subtle, and I think the drop shadow kind of makes it really jump out from the surface of the mirror. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and click the little thumbs up icon, and please share it with anyone else who you think might enjoy it. So till next time, cheers.